Welcome to my new show, من قلب الحدث, the heart of the action. Why are children acting so weird? Why we are behaving very bad? To know the answers, watch us. Do you use the media or the media uses you? Billions of people use the internet daily, especially the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it. So the media can manipulate you, influence you, persuade you, and can control the whole world with two ways, positive way and negative way. It can affect us mentally, physically, and emotionally. The great thing about social media was how it gave a voice to voiceless people. John Ransom says that. But the other side of the story is about how to affect our family, children, school, business, mental health. Today, we're going to discuss all these details with the young man who is spreading the positivity, the strong, correct messages, and the productive mind. The man who is changing lives, building solid confidence and successful path. Let me introduce you to the most influencing person, the motivational speaker, the Amazon speaker nominee, the former vice president of business development and marketing at One Source provider. Also, the former CMO of Hillcrest Hill. Let me introduce you to Mr. Wissam Bazi. Welcome, Mr. Wissam. How are you?
I'm excellent.
How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thank you for having me.
You see, today we're going to talk about media, and the media is affecting every one of us, the both positive side and the negative side. As a mentor, you know the negative of media on society can lead people towards, poverty, crime, violence, bad influence, school shooting. How we can control this? We have to transform this platform, the Facebook, the internet, the Instagram, to a positive platform, educational, lead people to love each other, to connect with each other in a humanity sense, not like just material, marketing, government, war.
Social media and these kinds of things are all part of marketing as well. How does social media and cell phones actually affect us on a daily level? I think one of the most powerful things that has been created is the cell phone. And if you look from 2010 on in, the suicide rate has gone up like exponentially. Once the cell phone, the smartphone actually got created. If you look at things and the way they're happening, we have an age limit on alcohol, on nicotine, on many things. There's an age limit. And as soon as you receive a ping or a notification, you're actually getting now a dopamine kick in your brain. And it's addictive, just like all the other drugs, alcohol, and everything else. So it is addictive. And now you give a cell phone to a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old kid. They're going to grow up addicted. It's what essentially we're actually doing is like we're opening up the alcohol cabinet and saying, here you go, indulge. What it actually is leading to, the more I actually am on my cell phone, the more I'm actually becoming isolated. So isolation becomes a key in terms of these kinds of things. So the effect that is having on a human brain, the developing human brain is it's tantamount to destruction if it's not moderated and controlled properly. There is a great side to social media. There's a beautiful side to the connection and everything else.
And here's the example. We're doing this interview just to spread the word, the awareness about the media. You can use it to be happy with it, or you can use it to be like very failed, very lonely, to disconnect. A lot of people, they disconnected from the world. They disconnect from their family. You see in one house, the same family, dad outside on his Facebook, the mom in her bedroom, the kids on their PlayStation or on the media too. So why we are going there? We have a brain, but the media is controlling our mental health. And this is the main problem. If we want to do like a little conversation, like you say, everything start. I watch many of your videos on the Instagram. Let me tell everybody, He's a very excellent. You are a great speaker. One of your video, you said the main thing to start anything is start your conversation. Don't stop yourself.
Yes.
So how we gonna use this in a positive way with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter? How?
Yes. One thing with me, I tell you something I do.
Yeah, your
I don't.
experience.
Yes, I don't digest media. I put out media. The only way
Nice.
I don't. You never see anything private about my life. You'll never see anything. Not pictures, not videos, anything. I mean, it's fine. It's you do whatever you want. It's
choices.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It's,
different,
people can use it
opinions.
however they want. But with me, I don't make the private public. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I leave my private life to its privacy,
Yeah.
and my public life. Okay, that's what I do. So. I'm honored to have this position to be able to speak on certain things. I have clients who, when they call you and they're like, "Hey, I just solved this problem," or "I went through this," and I had a person called me the other day. They're like, "I watched your videos and
Nice.
you got me off of, like, I was depressed and you got me off the." And I don't even know who the person is. And I'm
very
just
nice.
I'm so honored. I don't know how, like, these things, have happened. It wasn't my goal, but to me, like, when these things happen, is such a powerful thing to gain that fuel, and you want to do more. And then you
Right.
see something that saddens you, like, okay, I got to do something about this,
Yeah.
and I got to make a video about this. So to me, I think it's so powerful when you can put out a message that's
Yeah.
constructed properly, that adds value to someone else's life, and you're not there. And the video is just it's happening. And I have so many stories, and I'm so grateful for all the people. And I just, let me say that, like, for all the people who have followed, who send me messages, I'm internally indebted to you guys, because at the end of the day, it's really about them. I have many things I'm working on constantly. I have 3 mentors myself. I'm always seeking information. I'm always doing things that are kind of pushing me to the next level.
Nice.
Don't digest the media. Don't
Don't let
make
it
it your
control
life.
you.
Yes. Don't have moderation to it. And I'll give you an example. I was speaking at a high school the other day.
Yeah.
I asked them the average, screen time that they have. The average screen time was 8.5 hours per day. Like, how do you stay on your
See?
phone for
That's
8? That's a full-time job.
For kids,
yeah,
right?
Yes, to be on your phone
Wow.
for 8.5 hours.
8.5 hours.
And then I asked them, what was the average sleep time? What was the
Yeah.
average sleep? The average sleep time was about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Then you have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to school. So the brain
not
develops
gonna
while
be
you're
able to
sleeping. Yes,
focus.
exactly. So don't digest media. Okay,
Yeah.
put out a good message. If you're going to digest media, there's a lot of great media. I do about literally 4 hours. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get my workout in. I prep my own food. I literally cook. I make my own food. A lot of my clients, I have them go hard diets to work out that discipline each day.
Yes.
To make sure that literally I can resist myself. I can tell myself no.
Right.
And work out that mental muscle. But on that level, when I do that, then I begin, I read. I take a video, I take notes, and I'm always doing something to digest. I start off my day by digesting something
Nice.
that's knowledge, wisdom, any of these kinds of concepts that actually push you forward. And
So
you get
the
that mental food.
So the first rule is control the time.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
let it use you. You use the
Yes.
internet, the
Yes.
media to serve you, not to
Yes.
serve it.
And you will become its slave.
Yes.
You will
Yeah.
actually.
That's the correct
It's addictive.
word, slave. It's
yes,
addictive.
it's
Very
addictive.
addictive. Now I'm going to tell all my audience that we went out there and asked 1, 2, 3, 4 of you, what do you think about media? Let's see what their answer was. What do you think about media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and how does it affect us?
Tell you what, I don't like it at all.
You don't like it?
At
Why?
all. I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't like it. I don't do Facebook, TikTok. I don't do any of those things.
Do you think our kids, children, take too much time, hours spending on this?
Yes.
Separating families?
Yes.
Talk a little bit
Yeah,
about
definitely. No, I don't think that's right. I don't think they should. I think the family should be sitting together talking and not being on the internet because
Yeah.
you never know who's on the other end of the line. with kids.
What do you think about media? Do you think it's positive or negative?
I think it's positive, not
Really?
negative. Yeah.
Okay, what's the positive side of it?
Well, without the media, you guys wouldn't have came to us and
Yeah.
talked to us. And on top of that, it unites the community. It unites people. I mean, without media, I probably wouldn't even be talking to family overseas. People look at the negative all the time, but it's good to
Yeah.
look at the positives too.
Do you think it has both negative and positive sides?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So both of them?
Yeah, everything has a negative, everything has a positive, but sometimes the positive outweighs the negative. So, there has to be a balance no matter what. Yeah, so
How many hours you spend on media?
on media, like 3 hours a day.
Oh.
Yeah, not too much.
Be honest, just 3 hours?
Yeah,
Not
just
too
3
much?
yeah,
There
3
you
hours.
go.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, no.
So
3
3
hours.
hours?
Yeah,
That's
3
good.
hours.
So you control the media and it doesn't control you, right?
Yeah. I mean, for some people, it might control them. They could be a little insecure about it sometimes, but alhamdulillah, no. Only 3 hours a day.
How many hours you spend on social media, on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram?
Not much.
Like how many a day?
1 hour.
1 hour a day? So do you like media? Do you like TikTok? No?
No.
Welcome back to our show. I'm going to remind everybody, please now follow my page, Rabia Jawhari Media, Facebook and Instagram. And you are more than welcome to put your comments, share, like. So we're going to talk now about the school shooting. This is the most negative side effect of media. We heard lately many school shooting about like killing innocent children because of one student has like mental health, exclusive temper, hateness. That's what I told everybody. Media take us from our humanity a little bit. It's pulling us back, not to the front sometimes, not all the time. What do you think? How we can control this?
Very difficult for parents. It's very difficult where now you might just walk into a grocery store
Right.
and something might happen. We've never had these things before. Overall, I think, where's this stemming from?
Yes.
How is this happening? And it's almost like scary when you see now videos being recorded
Right.
as they're actually doing this stuff.
Correct.
And they post it on Facebook, on these different medias.
Yes.
And it's almost like to showcase the actual event, which is even more horrific and diseased and these kinds of things. But also come to say that why is this person getting to this point? How are we failing our youth? Because these people are obviously, they get depressed, they're lonely,
Right.
something happens to them that they get to this point. So our society is also failing them.
We have to go to the roots,
To the root,
treat the roots.
100%, which
get
is
the results.
Which is how do I desensitize myself enough to go into a school and actually start shooting people?
Right.
How does the heart allow someone to do that, to go against your humanity?
Awful,
That's not
I know.
that's not an easy thing to do. That's hard to do. That's not easy
course.
to actually pick up a gun and actually go into a school and actually start.
course.
That's not easy. Not many people can do that. So how does one become like that? How does a person become like that? Usually isolation. Okay.
Right.
They're not
Lonely.
welcomed. They're very lonely usually in terms of what they're doing. They're so segregated from society that
Right.
I'm so angry that I blame and I disposition
Right.
my anger towards
Wow.
innocent people. Thinking of doing something like that, take a step back and really just think of the consequences in the long term and
Yeah.
how you may affect others and just affect yourself at that point.
You said in one of your videos, temptation and will,
Yes,
they can't meet.
yes.
Why?
A lot of people have a relationship with a higher power. That's
Yeah.
the number one relationship. Then you have a relationship with yourself. Then you have a relationship with others. You have a relationship with temptation.
Yeah.
And you have a relationship with nature. If you as a person are willing to work on the second relationship, which is with yourself first,
Yes.
that it requires the first relationship to gain that strength and that willpower, which is your
Temptation.
which is your relationship with your higher source, whatever that may be, with God, nature, whatever. When you connect there, you begin to understand the way you work. And I gain my security from an ultimate source.
Wow.
And I realize that everything else is a resource. and I'm connected to the source, I begin to fill my own emotional voids. I don't have loneliness.
Okay.
I'm satisfied. I'm content.
Okay.
I feel abundance of emotions. If that's the case, what happens? It makes me feel good about myself because I no longer
Right.
have these things that I don't have the depression. I don't have the loneliness. I don't have the need to feel fulfilled by another person.
Right.
I can do it on my own. When you connect to the first relationship properly, the second relationship you become very content in your own heart.
Right.
Then when you actually do something for someone else,
Right.
are you seeking emotional reward? No, I'm not seeking anything from you. I'm doing something and I want nothing in return. Because there's nothing you can give me that make me feel better.
Right.
I'm already overfilled. So think of your heart as a container, and there's a constant source that's putting that's
Filling
sustenance. It's constantly filling it.
Wow.
And it's always overflowing. So whatever people give you, they're never going to add anything to you because you're always overflowing. So when you're overflowing, all you can do is give. That's true love.
Nice.
That's true a sensation of, we say ihsan, the person
Yeah.
who's constantly, even their own enemy, even if you don't like me, I'm still giving you part of even my mercy.
Wow.
So when you become like that kind of person, I think you can flex that mental muscle and you can literally tell yourself no when the temptation comes. And you have a willpower thought versus a temptation thought, and it's right there in front of you. So let's say it's food, let's say it's intimacy, let's say any of these kinds of things that come to you, money, scandaling someone, and and putting someone in a very bad position. You can look at yourself and say, you know what? Your heart is way too strong. You could pull back and you can say, no, I'm not going to do that. And that's not easy to do.
Yeah.
When the temptation is strong, let's say there's
Right.
$100,000 in front of you, and in seconds you could take it. But you're going to hurt so many other people. But can you pull back at that level? Can you tell yourself really, no, don't do that? Because your heart is programmed to do the right thing.
Right.
That takes a lot of training. That's
Your
not
heart
one or
and
two
your
steps.
brain.
Yes, very true.
When you are fully filled
Yes.
with positivity, with humanity, with joy, all the nice things, even if you see a treasure in front of your eyes,
Yes.
you're not going to touch it
Yes.
because you're already satisfied.
Yes.
How are we going to use it with media? Are we keep scrolling down on Facebook? Oh, this picture is beautiful. Oh, this video, I'm going to see this one. 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and people still losing the time, losing themselves just because they're putting their effort in an empty.
Yes. It's an empty
Envelope.
vessel, yes.
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is so, and I see how passionate you are about it, and it bothers me as well when I see like a young kid
Yes.
who's just constantly like, your thumb now has its own mind, it's like you're like, okay.
They're
It's like-
going on
yeah.
and off, on and on.
Can the media be addictive? 100%. It's designed to be addictive.
It's worse than drugs.
Yes, it
Worse.
is. And it does actually activate the dopaminergic system,
Yes.
which is literally what drugs activate.
Yep.
So it's connected highly to that. I think one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself as a person to get satisfied and to remove these kinds of things, depression, anxiety, all these negative feelings that a lot of people are running away from these days in that loneliness aspect, as
Right.
you talked about. I think one of the most beautiful things that you could set for yourself is almost all positive emotion is goal pursuit emotion. Really think about that the next time you want to do something. Your finger versus a goal that you have. Now,
Right.
why are goals so important? Goals are important because they're actually instructions for your subconscious mind.
Right.
And the way that works is simply this way. The brain takes in millions of bits of information per second. So if I'm looking at a bird, it's telling me how far it is away from me. The color, its speed, its motion. It's telling me so many things, and it just hands it to me and says, oh, this is a bird. Like, we don't really respect the
Right.
power of just our mind and what it does.
Correct.
So what does it do with that information when it's taking in all this information? It knocks it down to about 7 slots of information, which is your conscious mind. Now, I'll give you an example. Whenever you get a new car, before you get a car, you don't notice the car. But once you get it, what happens? then you see it everywhere. You're like, oh my God, everybody's got this car.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
now
You're
because
right.
because it became important to you.
Correct.
So the brain works in this way.
Right.
It filters all that information coming in,
Yes.
and it based on what is important to you.
Right.
And that's your selective attention.
Correct.
So now what happens here is very important. If you don't have goals, what's the mind supposed to be directed to?
Nothing.
If you have goals, everything now that's connected to your goal in your mind, that's instructions, and you're telling your brain, listen, this is important to me. This goal, this I want to get to this level.
Right.
It's important to me. Okay, everything connected to it, just like you see that car now,
Nice.
and it became important to you. Everything about that goal becomes important to you, and your mind will actually bring it into your line of awareness. So it's extremely important to build your
That's a
responsibility
great tip.
slowly.
Does the media, the heaviness that putting on us, the stress, there's two sides, as I said in my introduction, positive and negative. But we know time is free, right? Everybody knows. That's good. There is one thing free in this country or everywhere. So time is free, but it is priceless. You can't own it, but you can spend it, right?
Spiritual.
If you don't spend it, you lose it.
Well, I think media as a whole runs the world.
Yes.
So the market of the media is huge.
Click of a button.
Yes, and I'll give you some numbers. In 2017 was the last time I checked, but worldwide there was $596 billion that was spent around the world in marketing.
I know.
Those are marketing dollars. Now, the United States was 273 billion. So we lead the world in marketing dollars. The next country was at 73 billion was China. So imagine the influencing dollars that actually are pumped into to get you an idea of when you're walking down the aisle. I look at around and Crest toothpaste. Yeah, that sounds good, but it's already been primed into your mind by marketing. These things are extremely important when you begin to understand that it's not light. Media is not a light subject. And I'll give you a really great, this was a study that was done. Now when you get targeted in ads,
Right.
Each house gets its own actual target. You're your own target.
Right.
So you're not getting the same ads as your neighbor. You're being specified in targeting. At the end of the day, when you go shopping, when you do anything, it's all information is being collected about you. So with these kinds of things, you have to understand you are a number in the world, and everybody wants your dollars.
Right. I feel like sometimes we are in prison. On the other side of the mirror, we are open to the whole world. Positive sides of the media, like when you want to spread great messages, when you want to bring people together. Why we don't create an app to be addicted to the good thing, to the positive thing,
Yes.
to platforms that let us feel like a human again.
Yes.
We feel sometimes like robots.
Yes.
Doing this and that, this and that. How are we going to solve this?
I think to stay positive and to actually use media in a positive way, I think you have to figure out yourself first.
Yeah.
And wear your smile. And that is genuine, that actually, yes. I think a smile is charity.
Yes.
And if you don't have money, you can give a smile
Right,
always.
free.
Yes, and something beautiful about a smile is we have in our brain, they're called mirror neurons.
Right.
And the second I actually activate my smile, it makes you smile.
Right.
And it's because you mirror, that's how babies actually, when they're looking at us,
Reflect.
that those mirror neurons activate the other person's face, the adult's face.
Yes.
And they actually activate those mirror neurons, and the baby smiles.
Correct.
And you look like an idiot, you know,
Right.
like, goo, goo, gaga, you know. But at the end of the day, you're trying to get a laugh of, from that baby. So there's a difference between your facial features and them smiling versus your heart smiling. I think when the heart truly smiles and it's genuine, your smile has sincerity in it, and you as a person feel holistic, you feel empowered,
Right.
you feel confident, you feel strength, you feel compassion.
Nice.
I think then your smile is potent. A person who's having a bad day
Yeah.
and you just go into their presence and you just smile. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
You just smile.
You'll so
And that positivity will just radiate off of you as a person. And you'll make that person, when they stepped into your presence,
Right.
when they leave in a better state. So it's incredible what you can do
Correct.
with just a smile.
I tell my daughter all the time, when you wake up and you feel tired and like upset or nervous or you don't want to go to school or something, just look at the mirror and smile. See how much beautiful you are when you
Yes.
smile.
Yes.
It'll change the whole day,
Yes.
your day. So now I'm going to invite everybody to smile and we're going to ask another opinion about media. هل بتحبزي الميديا والفيسبوك والتيك توك لأولادك ولا لا لقرايبك لكذا؟
هو منيح بيفتح العالم على كتير شغلات والناس بتتعرف على بعض كتير أشياء.
وإذا بيقعدوا لساعات طويلة هل بتحبزيها ولا لا؟
أكيد لا، في يعني أشياء أهم في الحياة.
قد ايه بتلاقي الميديا عم بتأثر علينا بشكل سلبي أم إيجابي؟
إذا خبر منيح إيجابي، إذا خبر مش منيح أكيد سلبي.
برأيك الأولاد اللي عم يقعدوا ساعات وساعات بالنهار عم بتأثر على عقلهم على تصرفاتهم؟
على كل شيء.
ما بتنصحي فيها ما هيك؟
لا للأولاد لا.
أوكي.
حتى للكبار إذا كانت إدمان يعني.
نعم.
هلا إذا فيسبوك شيء مهم، إذا عندك حدا بعيد أو شيء بدك تعرفي شيء، بس إذا يومية وللأولاد الصغار أنا ما يعني نو لازم يقروا كتاب بدل ما يقعدوا على الفيسبوك.
What kind of messages you want to send to the world about Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, media in total?
My message to the world is, we have to pull away from social media a little bit, get more involved in school, get involved in our community. That's the main thing, staying connected to the community, teaching our kids to put their time and efforts to help those less fortunate. There's so many people out there could benefit from the help that they can get from the children and adults in this neighborhood, in our communities. And they would benefit so much. I mean, and make a positive impact for our kids as well.
We're back with the heart of the action, my new show on Rabia Jawhari Media. Please follow, like, share the interview, and let us spread the positivity all around the world. You have a rule or equation that you put out on Instagram, 50% hope, 50% fear. This is the equation for the alignment of the things that we have to balance in our life to get through the other line or the other dream, the other approach.
That rule, I once read just beautiful narration, and it stated that hope and fear are like two wings of a bird.
Oh,
you need both of them to actually fly, fluidity.
Into balance.
Yes.
Whoa.
So you need both sides. Hope makes you ambitious. It wants you to push forward. Fear makes you precautious. It makes you like, okay, you're tentative to things. If you have irrational hope or irrational fear, then it's a problem in your decision making, because this is an equation for actually making decisions.
Correct.
So let's say I have irrational fear and I want to actually move forward, but I'm scared. So think of a bird. It's all its feathers on its wings. It's got the strength. It can fly.
Yes.
So what's the job of the mother bird? It's to actually push it forward because it's afraid. So push it out of the nest. It's holding back because it's fearful. So it's irrational. So you got maybe 80% fear, 20% hope.
Correct.
So you should balance that, go to about 50, say, you know what? Gain a little more confidence and don't stay in your comfort zone. So push yourself forward. This is where mentorship comes in, where the mentor comes in, which is the mother bird, and they literally tell you, okay, you know what? Take this step. Don't be afraid. You can do it. And so now the other part of the equation is, let's say you have irrational hope. And this is the person who's got two feathers on their wings, but they want to jump out of the nest. This is the person who's really ambitious, like, oh my God, I want to touch everything. You have kids like that too.
Yes.
So what's the job of the mother bird, which is the mentor? It's to hold them back. You need
not the
more
time,
Yes, you need more time. Because listen, I see the danger. There's a cat there. It's going to eat you. So from there, you begin to understand that hope and fear work on every single decision you make.
Right.
And it's there. So for you as a person, equate Check your hope and check your fear. So when you're about to make a decision,
It's normal.
it's completely normal. Look through the lens of hope and say to yourself, okay, I hope this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. I want this to happen.
Yeah.
But also look through the lens of fear and say, you know what? I'm precautious here. I don't know about this. I'm not sure about this. I'm going to seek some advice about this. And this is where mentorship comes in. Now, the one who really makes great decisions is the one who can use this equation properly with wisdom in between. It goes in between. When should I be hopeful and approach? And when should I be fearful and avoid? And that is really, it's about wisdom at the end of the day.
Very
It's
nice.
an application. Application is through wisdom.
Nice. So, hey, people, the bank is inside of us. We are fully full of what positivity, dreams, approaches. Just step
Into your discomfort zone.
Into your discomfort zone, and you will reach your goals. So, to be happy with yourself, this is the first step for success.
100%.
If you're not like satisfied and happy, you're not going to reach anything,
That's,
right?
That's true. I think happiness is a tough thing to figure out and try to grab. But I think one of the essence of being happy or being satisfied or grateful really in what you're doing, I think is truly finding your inner talent to put the internal puzzle together. And if you look at a piece of a puzzle, it doesn't fit anywhere else.
Yeah.
You only fit in one place. And then when you figure out the inside puzzle, you realize you're just one piece of the human puzzle. And then you have to figure out where you fit in that. And that can be, somewhat daunting as well. But I think if you take the time to really get to know you before you try to get to know anyone else, I think that is just the essence of development.
Let me tell the audience, if I'm gonna keep going with Wissam about positivity, he's gonna mentor everybody now. I like your confidence. I like the way you're providing yourself as a good role model and example for all young people, all people out there, just to be themselves. And then they will have their own successful path. What kind of message you want to send to them right now in the end of our show?
First of all, thank you for having me. I
you so
appreciate
much.
Being
My
with you,
pleasure.
spending this time.
Thank you.
For me, if I were to say just any final words for anybody, and some of the things that I had to do myself, and I had to work really hard just to be able to do that. And I'm grateful for being allowed to do what I do.
Yes.
Whenever you want to take on any form of challenge in life, look at yourself from the inside and really find out with what you need to do as a person. Go after that talent that's inside of you. Because no person who has lived, who is living, or will live is like you. So there's a talent that you have that's exclusive to you. You are that one piece. You can't take a piece of the puzzle and put it somewhere else. It doesn't fit. Your talent is like that. Find it on the inside. Once you do, it's like a pinhole in the universe. And your inside is a universe. Once you find that, dump all your time, all your energy, all your strength into that. And don't be afraid of money. Don't make it about money. Just make it about your talent. And once you do that and you find your talent, you become rare. And then from there, once you become more rare, you become more expensive. People want you. They'll seek you. They'll seek you out in different places. So if you can do that, just find out what you're genetically encoded for on the inside and find out how special you really are. There's no depression. There's no anxiety. There's nothing you can't take on in life.
Thank you so much. That was
Thank you.
very, 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 very precious conversation.
Thank you.
And it's very important. So stop scrolling right now on Facebook, Instagram, and all the media kind, and go after your dream. Go dance, sing, read, reach your goals. I hope everybody enjoyed our show today. And finally, I want to say to every one of you, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for supporting my journey as well. So finally, don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Rabia Jawhari Media. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye.